looks like David Fincher himself has confirmed we are getting Fight Club on 4K very soon. Scream Factory has confirmed their new March slate, including Night of the Creeps on 4K. Second Sight Films has some David Cronenberg offerings for us on 4K in March. Shane Black's The Nice Guys gets not one but two 4K announcements. The director confirms we will be getting The Descent on 4K sometime very soon, but who's it coming from? And put the bunny back in the box. It looks like we could be getting Con Air on 4K sometime this year. All this and more in the next Physical Media Report. Stay tuned. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media Channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. And today, guys, we are here for the Physical Media Report episode 247. That is right, guys. We are 3 episodes away from a milestone episode of 250. That is exciting, guys. Hopefully we have some good announcements for that episode, but we have got some fantastic stuff in this episode to talk about today. Before we get into it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I would appreciate that. You know, we talk about physical media on this channel. We talk about Blu-rays, we talk about 4Ks, we talk about owning the movies that you love, all that stuff there behind me every single day. If you like that kind of stuff, that kind of content, hit that subscribe button. Also, comment down below, guys, of everything that we cover here today. What are you the most excited about? We got some exciting stuff, guys. You're surely to be excited about something that we're going to talk about. What are you the most excited about? What gets you the most amped up? And what gets those juices flowing the most? Let me know in that comment section below. And let's just get into it, guys. We have got quite a few rumors to talk about, and I am hoping that all of these rumors come true. Now, some of them are very heavily indicated and probably will happen, but there's a couple where I'm like, it could maybe go either way. But let's bring up this first one where I'm still a little bit skeptical about this one, but I really want this to happen. I've been talking about this movie coming to 4K for a very long time, but we've got some news about Con Air coming to 4K. And guys, like, Con Air is just one of those movies for me. It's just a very important part of my childhood. I watched this movie over and over again, just like Armageddon. This, of course, was, I believe, a Touchstone picture, which is owned by Disney. So, you know, a couple of years ago, we were like, we're probably never going to get this. And now it seems like it's becoming more of a reality. You know, we got recent news of Armageddon potentially coming to 4K, which I'm also super excited about. I think that's also a Touchstone picture. So it feels like Disney, in collaboration with Sony, maybe more open to doing some of these 4Ks for at least like the bigger, like, premier titles that I think that they think will sell, like Con Air, like Armageddon, because these are very beloved movies, maybe not critically, but I feel like in the mainstream, like, people look back on these types of films very fondly. I know that I do. But Con Air, so this was kind of, again, not confirmed, but Bill Hunt from the Digital Bits, which, you know, I find to be extremely reliable when he reports stuff. But he says Simon West Con Air, and this was posted on X, by the way. Simon West Con Air, a Touchstone film controlled by Disney and distributed by Sony, is now available for streaming and purchase in 4K digital on iTunes. So if you want to watch this on 4K, you can watch it digitally on 4K. And then he says, hopefully a 4K disc is coming soon. It is coming soon too, and more Touchstone films. So again, we already got news of Armageddon. It would be great if they started mining the Touchstone catalog, Hollywood pictures. You know, we've already seen, I believe, The Sixth Sense was Hollywood pictures. Sign might have been Hollywood pictures as well, or it might have been Touchstone. I'm not exactly sure. So I want them to start mining, you know, these untapped, sub studios that Disney has owned in their past, and also the Fox catalog. Disney, like, when you really break it down, guys, like, Disney owns, like, so much. They're holding on to so much of these films that we want to see upgraded. Whenever somebody asks, like, why haven't they done this? Why haven't they done that? Why haven't they done this? It's like, Disney owns it, Disney owns it, Disney owns it. Like, that's always, like, my answer. And they're the ones that hold out on this stuff. So, you know, movies like Con Air, movies like The Rock, you know, I think The Rock is a Hollywood Pictures example. But like, these are the movies that we want to come to 4K with a nice Dolby Atmos sound upgrade. Like, they're the ones that, you know, I feel like would just really pop. Like, I always say action movies just look so good in 4K, especially ones with like a lot of explosions. That stuff just always pops in the 4K with Adobe Vision HDR. But Con Air, like in particular, I think this movie would look great on 4K, and I cannot wait to see it, guys. Hopefully, we get that official announcement. Again, you can watch it on streaming if you just want to check it out. Again, streaming quality is not going to be as good as physical quality, of course, but like if you just want to check it out, see how it is on there, it could give you a good indication of how it's going to look physically when it comes out. So hopefully we get that official announcement. Again, it's not official. It could not happen at all. I hope that it does, but it could not happen at all. But I usually when something, and Planet of the Apes, I think recently got a 4K digitally. So we're hoping to see that at some point pretty soon, which I think is pretty likely since we got the Apes films like back in the zeitgeist of current pop culture. But hopefully we get news on Con Air coming to 4K. That's one that's personally like just very exciting for me because I love that movie. That's my favorite Nicolas Cage movie as well. Let's talk about The Descent. This is both exciting but also a little bit disappointing. So The Descent was confirmed to be coming to 4K by the director Neil Marshall. And this was either on an Instagram post or it was on, I should have like blanked out these names. So I do apologize, guys. Well, Neil Marshall, we're talking about, but this was either on Instagram or it was on Facebook or it was on something. But somebody basically commented, let's see more of Shane Meadows' work at Second Sight. Also, when are you gonna do The Descent? Neil Marshall director, sort it out. And then Neil Marshall actually replied back, it's happening, but not with Second Sight, I'm afraid. So that pretty much confirmed that The Descent is coming to 4K, but we're not going to get a Second Sight edition. Now, I think it's going to be Lionsgate. That would be the best bet, honestly, because we just got those slip covers in Walmart. I feel like I posted about those on YouTube, but maybe not. But there's new like horror slip covers at Walmart, and The Descent is one of those, and it's in a Lionsgate line. So I'm anticipating that we're going to get some kind of like Lionsgate limited or Amazon exclusive steelbook of The Descent sometime in 2025. And it is the 20th anniversary of this movie. And The Descent, guys, if you haven't seen The Descent, that is one of the best horror films of the 2000s, in my opinion. It was one that was very like overlooked. Even at the time, I felt like that movie was overlooked. That came out in a time period where Saul was king, then Paranormal Activity came out, and I don't feel like enough people talked about The Descent. I feel like more people had discovered it now, but it really is just one of the best horror films, extremely claustrophobic. And it's another one that, because of all those like scenes at dark and it just kind of like very dark inside the caves and stuff, I feel like that movie would look great in 4K as well. So yeah, Lionsgate, I would assume is working on a nice like 4K premium steelbook edition. Hopefully they do a slipcover version as well. I hate it when the only option is to get a $40 steelbook, because I do think this will probably be a Lionsgate limited exclusive. But again, like with The Descent, like because they did Dog Soldiers, which is another Neil Marshall movie, I was really holding out for that Second Sight 4K release because I think The Descent deserved that level of treatment. But either way, like I'll be excited to get a nice edition of that film in the collection on 4K for sure. But The Descent, guys, pretty much confirmed. We'll be getting this year. I can almost 100% guarantee it. Fight Club. Now I feel like I've talked about Fight Club on the channel before coming to 4K. I feel like we got some kind of rumor a few months ago. But Fight Club it's pretty much confirmed by the director, David Fincher. This is going to be coming out on 4K, if not this year, probably next year. He is working on it, though. So this is a 20th century Disney movie owned by 20th Century Fox, now purchased by Disney. And this was confirmed in the interview that Fincher did with Collider, where he talked about the AI stuff that he did with the 7 4K. And I feel like I knew about this last week, but I forgot to cover it. So I'm just covering it here. So if you guys want to know, like maybe you didn't check out the Physical Media Report where I talked about the Fight Club on 4K, I'm going to bring it up again because there's more news, there's more developments. But David Fincher pretty much confirmed he is working on Fight Club, so we will be getting that. And that's another like Disney title. So like, look, Disney is they're playing ball a little bit more, and collaboration with Sony and these directors as well. I really feel like a lot of these movies coming to 4K from Disney are more like director driven. But it's still cool. Like Fight Club is definitely an exciting one to get, like all the David Fincher films to come to 4K. I think we're going to see more and more in the next coming years. He seems like he's really getting into redoing his films in 4K. You know, whether or not he remasters, does some AI stuff in the clouds or not, whatever he wants to do, as long as largely like the movie in large like remains the same, I guess I'm okay with it. I know some people that aren't. They just don't want no AI no matter what, and I completely understand that. But Fight Club, we definitely need in 4K. I want the game in 4K. Like I want Criterion like the game edition would be fantastic. But yeah, Fight Club, guys, are you excited for that? Let me know in the comments section below. Also, Gone Girl needs a 4K for sure. So these images were, you know, again, this is pretty much confirmed. These are going to be announced apparently on January the 14th. So this Tuesday, they should be announced by the Lionsgate Limited website. We got The Third Man. So these images were floating around on Blu-ray.com. So we got The Third Man, which is an Orson Welles film, or at least he's in it. I don't know if he directed it or not. I know Studio Canal did a really nice 4K edition over there in the UK, but we will be getting just a regular steelbook. I do appreciate the fact that they're not doing like what they did with The Conversation, bringing that Studio Canal like big box set edition and making you purchase like an $80 set. I appreciate that they're doing the steelbook on this one that you can get. You don't have to, you know, spend $80 to get this on 4K. Here's an image of the cover and the back of it, but looks like a really awesome steelbook. I've never seen The Third Man. I did not get that Studio Canal release, so I will be getting this 100%. But yeah, this is supposed to be announced as a Lionsgate Limited. For those of you all that don't know, Lionsgate started their own basically like boutique Blu-ray website where they're doing these exclusive steelbooks that are only available on this website. So they've got the Tarantino movies on 4K on there right now. They've also got The Conversation and Apocalypse Now on the Lionsgate Limited website. And The Third Man is going to be the next one that is going to be on that website, exclusively on that website. We've also got Your Next, which is going to, looks like it's going to be a Lionsgate Limited exclusive steelbook as well. This image was floating around online. So Lionsgate's or Second Sight did do a 4K edition of this. That's why I was kind of holding out hope for The Descent, because it's like we've seen it before with Lionsgate and Second Sight doing like separate editions. So I was hoping they do the same thing with that. But Your Next, of course, got that nice Second Sight edition, which I love. But they did get a Lionsgate steelbook last year as a part of the Bloody Disgusting one. So I kind of saw this coming. But they are doing a 4K steelbook of Your Next. And I have heard that they will be utilizing the same restoration that Second Sight is doing. So it should be the same scan. So if you didn't get the Second Sight edition, you should be good getting the regular Lionsgate edition, and you'll have a nice edition of Your Next. Now, whether or not they share the special features or not, I'm not 100% on that. You know, I don't really see that being the case. I feel like Second Sight would probably hold on to their special features, but still cool either way. I'll definitely get this. I just love Your Next, so of course I'm gonna get my fourth version of Your Next on 4K. That's another like one of the greatest horror films of the 2010s, in my opinion. And lastly, on the rumor front, guys, we got a lot of rumors to cover today. The English Patient and Cold Mountain are apparently rumored, and this was reported by the Digital Bits as well. These are apparently rumored to come to 4K from the Criterion Collection sometime this year. So they have been licensed by Paramount to Criterion, and we will be getting these from the Criterion Collection this year. So the English Patient, like, and I feel like I talked about these like when they were announcing a bunch of stuff like earlier, I think, or late last year, but yeah, The English Patient, definitely one of the most respected films of the 90s. And then you also got Cold Mountain. I'll admit it right now, I haven't seen either one of these films, and everybody be like, Ken, I'm shutting off this video. You cannot be taken seriously because you haven't seen The English Patient. I'll see them, guys. I'll see them this year when the Criterion Collection announces it. I'll pick that up, and I will you know, talk about my experience with watching The English Patient for the first time on 4K. Guys, when I was like 10 or 11 or 12 in the 90s, when these movies were coming out, I was not watching The English Patient. I'm sorry. I was watching The Rock. I was watching Con Air. I was watching Dunstan Checks In. These are the kinds of movies I was watching when I was a kid. I was not watching The English Patient at this time. But, you know, I'm older. I'm more mature. I think I'm ready for a film like The English Patient. But yeah, coming to, you know, from Paramount, licensed from Paramount to the Criterion Collection. So that's definitely cool. Criterion's got a couple of good titles we know is going to be coming out this year. All right, so that's the rumors. Let's get into the actual news and announcements. We've got the Scream Factory March slate. Now we've talked about most of these previously, but they were officially announced this week. They're on the Scream Factory website. They're not yet on Amazon. Now, if these become available on Amazon, I will leave those links down below. Everything that we talk about, guys, in the Physical Media Report, if it has an Amazon link, I try to put that down below. And sometimes I'll put other website pre-order links down below as well. So look down below if you want to see pre-order links for some of this stuff. I try to include most of the stuff that I talk about as far as the announcements and the deals and what's coming out this week down below in the description. All right, so the Scream Factory March announcements. We kick it off with Night of the Creeps, the classic 80s iconic horror film directed by Fred Deckard, starring Tom Atkins. And yeah, this is looks like a really cool addition right here. And we've already got a Scream Factory Blu-ray. I don't know if they're going to be including new features, but they did include a little set right here, guys, an additional like slipcover set with a cool Tom Atkins figure. So they actually, I feel like they did a Tom Atkins figure when they did the Blu-ray release of Night of the Creeps. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% positive. So they're sticking with tradition right here, and they're doing a Tom Atkins figure with Night of the Creeps. I don't know, like, honestly, how I feel about that alternate artwork on the additional slipcover right there. I don't feel like this is something I necessarily need. It's up for pre-order, though, guys, for 80 bucks. And this is actually coming out, if I can get my phone open, this is actually coming out on March the 25th. So this is coming out on March the 25th. Site exclusive. You can only get this edition on the Screen Factory Shout Factory website. And again, this edition right here is $79.99 with the extra slip and the Tom Atkins figure. I did not see a package where you could just get the additional slipcover. Like, you have to get this edition right here. If you want that additional slipcover, you got to get the Tom Atkins figure as well. And I feel like some people said it sold out. When I recently looked on the Screen Factory website, it was still in stock. So you should be able to get it. Sometimes the counts are very wonky on Screen Factory. They'll say that they sell out when they didn't really sell out, and then they'll just have to update it or something. Sometimes that happens. But Night of the Creeps, great film. I like Night of the Creeps a lot. I think it'll look really good on 4K. It's one that I'll probably upgrade at some point, if not right away. But we also got, guys, are you excited for this? We got Bring It On also coming to 4K in March. It's coming out on March the 25th. No news of like new special features or anything like that, but sure, I'll watch some cheerleaders in 4K. Why not? I like Bring It On. It's a movie I'm kind of nostalgic for. I do think it's a movie that has the potential to look really good in 4K though. So there is that promise there. We've also got another Roger Corman film coming out. We got Forbidden World getting a 4K upgrade, and this is coming out on March the 18th. Really cool cover on that. I think it's just the original poster. I mean, that's probably what it is. But yeah, I had not seen a lot of the like old school, like Roger Corman stuff. So I'm definitely going to get Humanoids of the Deep. That was announced for February. And Galaxy of Terror and Forbidden World. Like, these are movies that I'm definitely going to add to the collection. I'm glad I never picked up those Blu-ray releases in the past. So now I don't have to worry about upgrading. I'll be getting these and adding these to the collection for the first time. And lastly, we've got, or not lastly, but second to lastly, we got Tommy the movie. And, this is a 4K release of Tommy the movie. I wasn't too sure like what exactly this was about. And to be honest, like, as I'm talking about it, I forget because I did look it up. But if you're a fan of Tommy, it's some kind of famous musician. Or there's like some kind of band that does the soundtrack for this. It's very famous, but I forget who it is when I'm talking about it right now. But if you're a fan of Tommy, we are getting Tommy the movie on 4K. 50th anniversary edition. This is coming out from Shout Factory March the 18th. We've also got the Shaw Brothers Classics Volume 6 Blu-ray set. This is coming out on March the 25th. So if you are a Shaw Brothers fan, get excited for this. If you collect all of these, like, that is definitely pretty awesome, guys. I'm pretty sure they put out like at least 50% of the Shaw Brothers catalog at this time. Like, they put out so many of these box sets. This is an 11 film set. I think all the box sets they've done have been 11 films. So they've done like 66 of the Shaw Brothers movies. So definitely really awesome Another really awesome offering from Shout Factory. And these always have like really good features, audio commentaries and stuff like that. So they always feel like pretty worth it as far as the value there. So that's everything that's coming out from Shout Factory and Screen Factory. We've also got, let me see. It looks like I messed up here. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. Okay, we got the Nice Guys. And this is not the first time that we're going to be talking about the Nice Guys on 4K. We're going to be talking about them here in a second again. But the Nice Guys is coming out on 4K, just a standard edition. Looks like a manufactured on-demand edition, so I don't think it's going to come with a slipcover or anything like that. But Warner Brothers is putting this out on February the 11th. So, like, I would be a little upset by this because I think the Nice Guys deserves just a little bit more. If it wasn't for the announcement that I'll cover here in a second, but I love the Nice Guys. This to me is like maybe one of Shane Black's best movies, if not his best movie. Like I love this movie so much. But this is a film that I have the Blu-ray, but like when I watch the Blu-ray, I'm like, this movie will look so fantastic in 4K. The way it captures that like, old school like LA like aesthetic and setting, like it will look so good in 4K. So I cannot wait to get this movie on 4K, but I will not be getting it from Warner Brothers. I'll be getting it from the people we talk about here in a second. But, if you're okay with just a bare bones edition of the Nice Guys on 4K, it's going to be coming out from Warner Brothers very soon on February the 11th. We've also got Judas and the Black Messiah, which is a very good movie. I remember watching that back during the pandemic. I think it came out in 2020. But this is getting a 4K release from Warner Brothers. Looks like another manufactured on-demand edition. And this is going to be coming out on February the 11th. We've also got some Second Sight announcements to dig into. They are really up in their game in 2025 with some David Cronenberg classics. We have The Brood coming to 4K from Second Sight on March the 31st. You're going to have a new commentary here. You're going to have a bunch of features. You're going to have cards, art cards, and you're going to have a 120-page book as well. So yeah, The Brood also has a Criterion edition. I don't own the Criterion edition. I watched The Brood, I think, a few years ago for the first time, and I watched it on HBO Max. Very good movie. Like, of all the Cronenberg movies that I've seen, I think that one is maybe one of his strongest and also one of his most underrated films. That was actually a really good movie that I think will look really good in 4K. But this is the overall look of the set. Looks like a really awesome set, keeping in with the, the general quality of a Second Sight films. But yeah, looks really awesome. I'll probably be getting this because, again, I don't own the film in my collection at all, and I do like it, so I will be getting this. But this is a 4K edition. It's going to have Dolby Vision, HDR, all the bells and whistles as well. And again, that will be coming out on March the 31st. We've also got Scanners coming out as well. Now, this recently got a 4K for, I think it was a German release, if I'm not mistaken. I think it also included the sequels. Now, this one is just the first movie directed by David Cronenberg. But this also has a Criterion edition. But this edition in particular is going to have a new commentary. It's going to have new features. Now, I compared the new features that I read off the website to my Criterion. And it also has an interview with Michael Ironside. It has an interview with some of the same people that did interviews with the Criterion edition, but they were called different things on the Second Sight one. So I'm assuming that these are new features, new interviews with those people. And I think Scanners from Criterion came out quite a long time ago. So I think that we do need some kind of updated interviews for this movie for sure. But yeah, David Cronenberg's Scanners is coming to 4K from Second Sight Films. You got this nice box set right here. Look at the artwork on that, guys. Looks freaking incredible right there. I do think like maybe it's on the back. I do think it's kind of a missed opportunity to not include the, the head scene of the movie. Which like to me, guys, like I need to rewatch Scanners. I will rewatch it when I get the Second Sight edition because I am going to get it. But to me, like that head explosion scene is like the best part of the film. And the movie like never like recovers from that, in my opinion. It never really gets better than that, I feel like. So that was kind of my initial like problems with the movie when I watched it for the first time. But I want to give it another chance because I feel like there's some other stuff there that I just didn't get the first time. But it's a great addition from Criterion. Like the artwork on that is incredible as well. But Second Sight Films, you just can't beat them. And this is a 4K, and the Criterion edition was a Blu-ray edition, but it's going to have the 120-page booklet. It's going to have the new features, I'm assuming, art cards, all the bells and whistles, Dolby Vision, HDR, all that stuff Second Sight's known for, and I'm sure it's going to look fantastic. I will say that I don't mind second. This is I think these are the first announcements of 2025 for Second Sight Films. I don't mind them diving into the David Cronenberg classics, but I do hope that they get back to doing like I like the direction of Second Sight Films, like getting into some of like the 2010s horror stuff, the 2000s horror stuff. That's why I want to see them do stuff like The Descent. Also like I really hope they do Nightcrawler as well. Like I like those like thriller type movies from the 2010s. Like there's some really underrated ones that I think can make some great Second Sight editions. And I don't mind Second Sight going back and doing some classics, but I hope that they can get back to doing some of the more like modern films that they were working on, because they were doing some really cool additions from some of those. And I think that the modern films are not even really modern anymore. Some of these movies are like 10, 15 years old, but I think like some of those movies, they deserve like the special. We don't just always need to go back to the 70s, 80s, and 90s to mine from. Like there's so much good stuff in the 2000s and 2010s. And Second Sight was doing a really good job of mining from that era. And I hope that they continue that in 2025. And it looks like they will, because we've also got the Nice Guys coming out from Second Sight Films. And now I'm assuming this will be a 2025 release, but this is just kind of an announcement from them to say, hey, we're working on the Nice Guys on 4K. I'm assuming they did that because Warner Brothers announced their version. So they're like, you know what? Let's just tell people we're also working on the Nice Guys as well, which I think is so freaking awesome. So freaking awesome that they're doing the Nice Guys. Like that's the Second Sight is exactly the label that I would want to put out the Nice Guys on 4K. Maybe Criterion would be a good label as well, but the Nice Guys on 4K, that's a great label to put out that movie on 4K, in my opinion. Again, I want them to do movies like Nightcrawler on 4K, like The Place Beyond the Pines on 4K, Prisoners on 4K, Enemy with Jake Gyllenhaal. Like these kind of thriller movies, Nocturnal Animals would be really cool as well with Jake Gyllenhaal. Pretty much all the Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Gosling films from the 2010s, like I would want them to do on 4K from Second Sight Films. But the Nice Guys is great. I'm extremely happy. Hopefully we have some good features. Maybe Shane Black does an interview, because Second Sight always does a good job like getting these directors and actors to come and talk about these films. So I'm hoping for a really good definitive box set edition of the Nice Guys coming from Second Sight Films. We've also got, and again, they said this was going to be a 4K and it was going to be a Blu-ray edition. So they're going to have both a 4K and a Blu-ray set. So let's talk about Dead Man's Shoes. There was an update on this from Second Sight Films. I have not seen this movie, so I don't really have too much to say about it. I know it's got the guy that was the king in House of the Dragon. Of course, he was younger in this, but for the past year, we've been trying to source material for the new 4K restoration. We've explored all avenues with the kind of help of producers, but unfortunately, the elements could not be found. We are, however, working on a Blu-ray release. So they cannot find the original film elements for Dead Man's Shoes, so they can no longer do a 4K. They're just doing a Blu-ray edition of Dead Man's Shoes, which is definitely, disappointing for people that wanted that definitive 4K edition. But if you can't find the elements, you can't find the elements. And Second Sight, they don't half-ass it. They're not just going to half-ass a 4K, put it out on upscale or something like that. Like they want to do the work. And if they can't do the work, if it's not possible, they're not going to do it. That's just the kind of company that they are. So, I respect that. And I'm sure that the Blu-ray that they do is going to look great as well. You're still going to get good features. So, again, a little disappointing, but that's it could be worse, right? At least you're still getting it. Let's talk about some Steelbooks. These are Walmart exclusive Steelbooks, and for the Evil Dead 2013, which this looks incredible. This is an incredible Steelbook, actually. So this is Evil Dead 2013. It's getting a 4K Steelbook, Screen Factory Walmart exclusive, and this is coming out on March the 18th. So I did not get the last one that they did. I think that was up on their website. It was also on Amazon, maybe. But I might get this one, even though I'm not a huge fan of the Evil Dead 4K, because I'm still sore that they didn't do new special features for it. I thought that was kind of lame. But this Steelbook is freaking awesome, and I love the movie. Like that image at the end of the house on fire and raining blood and Mia outside, like all that stuff has always been super cool to me. So it's a great design on this Steelbook. So it's possible I do pre-order this. Again, it comes out on March the 18th. So very cool. We've also got World War Z getting a Steelbook edition. This is also a Scream Factory Walmart exclusive edition, and this is also coming out on March the 18th. We have a new Lionsgate Steelbook. We're talking about a lot of Lionsgate Steelbooks this episode, but we have the Forbidden Kingdom getting a 4K Steelbook. This is a 2008 Jackie Chan martial arts movie. I have never seen the Forbidden Kingdom. I feel like I remember when it came out, but this looks like a pretty rad Steelbook right here. Pretty awesome Steelbook of the Forbidden Kingdom. This is a Lionsgate Amazon exclusive, so this will be on Amazon and not on the Lionsgate Limited website. So it looks like going forward, guys, like Lionsgate is going to continue to do like maybe Walmart exclusives. They're going to do Amazon exclusives, and they're also going to do their own Lionsgate Limited exclusives as well. So they're just going to try to, I guess, diversify their Steelbook output and what they put out. But very cool. I don't know if this is going to be like a lenticular cover or anything like that. It doesn't really look like it, but it does look like a pretty badass Steelbook. Like if you like this film, it's a pretty definitive looking Steelbook for this movie. And that comes out on February the 25th. So pretty soon, guys. We've also got the Snowman. This was announced last week from Kino Lorber. This is going to be coming to 4K coming soon from Kino Lorber. This is a movie that I remember coming out. It's got Michael Fassbender in it. I never watched it. I think it came out in like 2017, and it got pretty panned by the critics. Like not a lot of people like this movie, but you know, Kino Lorber's putting it out on 4K. I'm sure it was like maybe a part of a deal that they struck, and they had to take the Snowman and put it out on 4K. So I don't really know how all these deals work, but like, you know, I'm sure it wasn't something that they just like seeked out to put out on 4K, or maybe they did. Again, I haven't seen the film. Maybe it's good, but I remember like it had like a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. So it was pretty panned by most people that watched it. We've also got a really badass Amadeus, box set. This is coming out in the UK because the UK Warner Bros. Freaking cares about physical media over there, guys. But this is a really cool edition. You got the theatrical cut in 4K, steelbook, rigid slipcase, double-sided poster, 36-page booklet, art cards, like all kinds of stuff. Like I'm very tempted to get this because I love this movie, and to have a box set edition of Amadeus sounds awesome. But I'll probably just stick with the regular slipcover edition on this one. But it does look very cool. And I do love the original poster for Amadeus, but this is coming out in the UK, guys, March the 10th for the Amadeus 4K box set edition from the UK. And I believe Amadeus has a release date of February the 25th right now in this state. So I think they officially announced that this past week, even though I've covered that before on the Physical Media Report. Let's get into the deals, guys. We have got an Amazon 3 for 33 deal going on right now. So maybe check this out. Maybe check this out on Amazon. I will link it down below. It's been going on for like 5 days. Like maybe it'll be gone because I'm filming this a day before I put it out. Maybe it'll be over tomorrow, but I'm still going to link it down below just in case. There's a really good selection on this right here. You got Dune Part 2, you got Sugarland Express. Those are recent 4Ks. But you have a lot of good stuff. Like Twisters was on there. Monkey Man was on there. The Bike Riders on 4K was on there. So there was a lot of good stuff, like recent stuff, recent 4Ks that were on there that you could get for essentially $11 a piece in this 3 for 33 sale. So definitely check that out. I will link that down below. It's been going on for a few days. May not be going out tomorrow, but I'll link it anyway. We've also got the Barnes & Noble 50% off Arrow video sale that started last week. Let me bring this up and share it real quick. So as of right now, guys, I'm trying to see if they had a date where this ended, because they had a wrong date. I'm assuming it was a wrong date. They said it ended on, I think, September the 29th. And it's like, there's no way this sale is going for 9 months. So I would assume this sale is going to be over with by the end of the month. But it'll last at least a couple of weeks. This sale started, I think, 5 days ago. So go to your local Barnes & Noble, check out the website, and you can get Barnes & Noble. You can get Arrow video titles for 50% off. They got a lot of good stuff on here, box sets and all that stuff. I'm definitely planning on hitting a Barnes & Noble at some point, this week or next week to check out some titles potentially. But that is the Barnes & Noble 50% off Arrow video sale, which, has really gotten to be almost as big as not as big. Like people don't like recognize Arrow video at Barnes & Noble like they do Criterion and Barnes & Noble. but it's getting up there as far as like a really notable sale for Barnes and Noble, and they got the Kino sale as well. But yeah, Arrow Video, check it out in your local Barnes and Noble. We have also got just the regular sale right now, the regular sales on Amazon. Now, I will say a lot of the Barnes and Noble stuff, a lot of the Arrow titles are also 50% off on Amazon because Amazon likes to price match. Again, I would always say that you support Barnes and Noble first, because it is important to support them in these sales because they're the ones that are initiating it. Without them, Amazon would not put this stuff on sale. But I do know that some people, like maybe you got gift cards from Christmas, or maybe you just rather use Amazon. You just think it's easier to use Amazon, which I completely understand because I'm in that boat sometimes as well. So I will try to link as much of this stuff down below as possible. Now, it does help me when you use Amazon because the Amazon affiliate links, and I do get a small percentage of that, whereas Barnes & Noble, I do not. But again, it's one of those situations where I'm kind of caught in the middle here. And I do want you all to support Barnes & Noble, but at the same time, if you use Amazon, you also support me as well. So I would appreciate that. But, you know, all the Arrow titles are on here. You got Hellraiser, $59.99. You got The Cell, which is an upcoming title, $24.99. So a lot of this stuff you can get, upcoming pre-orders you can get. You also got American Gigolo, which I just talked about this in my underrated 4Ks of 2024. That is such a phenomenal release. Like, to get that for $29.99 is a steal. Like, the amount of content on that is incredible. Upcoming releases like Incubus are on here on 4K for $24.99. The Mexico Trilogy is $49.99. That's 3 films in that set. Really good set. The Conan, movie is on here, $24.99. Let's see. We also got some Kinos, it looks like, on here for cheap. Brokeback Mountain is currently $16.33 on 4K. Born on the 4th of July is $27.99. So yeah, we got some other, good deals on here as well. Let's see. The Warriors on 4K, $24.99. Crimson Peak on 4K, $24.99. Sudden Death on 4K, $17.99. Face Off on 4K, $17.85. So some of these are pretty comparable. Like, I don't know what's going on with Kino. Like, is there some kind of sale going on with Kino that I didn't know about? But Amazon's got a lot of Kino 4Ks as well. And again, I'll link these down below. For a few dollars more is $18.49. Stalag 17 is $17.49. That's cheaper than a Kino sale. Wild Things on 4K, Arrow title, $29.99. So yeah, I'll scroll through some of this, guys. And you guys can just kind of see for yourself some of the sales going on. Again, I'll link as much of this stuff as I can down below in the description of this video. But yeah, lots of good sales going on right now, guys. You don't have to break the bank to get some of this physical media stuff. I kind of seen it myself when it comes to, like, especially the studio stuff. Like, you don't have to get that stuff when it comes out. Like, $30 on a new 4K like Twister. Just wait a few months and you'll get an Amazon, 3 for $33. You can get Twister for $11. Like, and oftentimes you'll still get it with the slipcover. So like sometimes it just pays to wait for some of this stuff. Yeah, lots of good sales going on. Let's dive into the Groove sale. We've got a True Story sale going on right now. So you got some 4Ks and Blu-rays and DVDs, True Stories right now going for a pretty good price. You got Munich on Blu-ray for $7.99, which I still need in my collection, but I was kind of holding out for a 4K of that one. It looks like you got 2 Blu-rays for $20. You got 3 DVDs for $15. You got a Blu-ray clearance sale for TV titles. A lot of this stuff we've covered before, guys. So I'm not going to waste your time and cover it all again. So yeah, some good stuff going on right now. And let me take this off real quick, and we're going to get into what is new this week. And then we're going to get the heck out of here. Physical Media Report episode 247. We have got Inglourious Bastards coming out this week on 4K from Arrow Video. Now, I've talked about this before, but it is sold out on Amazon. Currently, it was also sold out on the Arrow Video website, but apparently it is on Barnes & Noble's website right now. And I think you can get it for 50% off. I think it's on there for $29.99. So I'll try to link that down below instead of the Amazon link. But the Blu-ray is also available for $34.99. And I think that this was on Walmart as well. And I think that I also saw it on Orbitz because I was trying to browse around and see if I actually linked the Orbit link on my on the review that I did a couple of days ago, which I reviewed this, guys. Go check out that review because there was a lot of, I don't want to say misinformation because I believe that the people that didn't like it, like they genuinely just didn't like it. But there's a lot of I don't know how to say it, but there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff going around about this 4K and that it's not very good. So check out my review before you purchase this to, and again, always make up your own mind whether what it sounds like to you is sounds good or not. But all I can say is the 4K is good. Okay, I feel like you're good to go, and it's a great addition on 4K from Arrow Video as well, with great features and all that stuff. But I think you can get it on Orbitz right now. Diabolic, it was sold out, but it is on Orbit, and I think it's also on the Barnes and Noble website as well. Or maybe you can get it in Barnes and Noble in person. Go check out your local store this week. So we've also got Incubus coming out, the movie with William Shatner on 4K. And that's coming out from Arrow Video. 4K is $33.59, but again, it's $24.99. I'm going by my old prices. It's $24.99 in the Barnes and Noble sale, and the Blu-ray is $27.67. But I imagine that's probably $20 right now with the sale. We've also got Snowpiercer getting a nice 4K Steelbook from Lionsgate. This is available on Amazon right now. It's not a Lionsgate limited, but this is available for $34.99 currently on Amazon from Lionsgate. We've also got, and you can see this picture right here, guys. I'll show another image. This is a beautiful Steelbook, it really is. And it's a 3-disc Steelbook as well. We've also got Chinatown getting a 4K release from Paramount. Now, we got the Paramount Presents editions last year of this one and Once Upon a Time in the West. But Paramount is re-releasing these as just standalone 4K editions. And Chinatown's getting a 4K for $23.19. And Once Upon a Time in the West is getting a 4K for $22. We've also got JoJo Dancer, a Richard Pryor film, Your Life is Calling, coming to 4K from the Criterion Collection for $34.99. Also a Blu-ray edition for $27.99. And we got The Mother and the Whore. Sorry, guys, it's weird how they put the lettering on that, or the words on that. The Mother and the Whore is coming to 4K from the Criterion Collection for $34.99. It's also getting a Blu-ray release for $27.99. And lastly, we have the Shaw Brothers Volume 5 set releasing this week. The classics on Blu-ray, 11 films from Shout Factory for $134.99. So there you have it, guys. That is the physical media. Well, let me bring up one more thing, guys. Just to make sure, because I don't always do this, and I always mean to do this, but there is, Rumpelstiltskin got pushed to this week. The 4K is supposed to be coming out this week. There's a Godzilla -1 that I think is a Godzilla Store web store exclusive that's coming out on 4K this week. We got Sometimes I Think About Dying coming out. This is a digipack that's coming out from Oscilloscope Pictures. And this is a Blu-ray for $39.99, which is pretty pricey. Then we've also got Icons Unearthed Marvel. This is coming out from Mill Creek for $27.99. And we also have My Name is Alfred Hitchcock coming out from Cohen Media Group for $20.99. And we got That Funny Feeling coming out from Kino Lorber. We've got The Spiral Road coming out from Kino Lorber. We've got Escape, and this is coming out from Wellgo USA for $33.49 on Blu-ray. And we've also got Full Moon and Blue Water. What is this? From MGM. And looks like it's got Terry Garr in it and Richard, or is that Gene Hackman? And that is $22.49 for that Blu-ray right there. Again, most of this stuff is on Amazon. I will try to link it down below. And we've also got Romance and Cigarettes coming out from MGM for $19.95. So there you have it, guys. That is the Physical Media Report, episode 247. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel more informed in the world of physical media. Please, if you can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and then comment down below, guys, of everything we talked about. What are you the most excited about? Turn on bell notifications for all future videos, and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.